Hey everyone, Below13 here, and it is that time again. It is Survivor Series. Now we have we have 8 matches to get through, and honestly, I want to keep this video short, so let's just get right on to it. Starting with the pre-show, we have Enzo Amore versus Kalisto, which I'm not gonna make any qualms about it. I used to love Enzo. You can go back to my old videos and see me praise Enzo for his promo work when he was with Cass. This latest incarnation of the character, though, it just irks me. It really, really irks me. I do like seeing him as a solo act. It doesn't work for me really. But at the same time, like I can understand what they're going for. They're going for the arrogant heel gimmick, and he fits that pretty well. So I think it's pretty obvious. I want Kalisto to win. That's like, if Enzo retains, it'll be a good storyline going forward. But yeah, Enzo's pretty much like I don't. I think even in the locker room, he's one of the most hated guys in the locker room right now. So Enzo, I used to like you, man, but I think you need to lose. It's really bright. There we go. Finally, or the main card though. The main card is freaking stacked. So there are 2 matches I'm going to say that could start this off and it'd be ideal, and those are the Usos and and Sheamus and Cesaro, or the New Day and the Shield. I'm gonna talk about the New Day and the Shield first because that's the one I think is going to start because it doesn't have a belt stipulation involved at all. This is going to be a fantastic match. A 6-man tag match with 2 of the hottest teams in the WWE. This is going to be fun. New Day, the last 4 pay-per-views has consistently put the best match on the card, and I'm sure anyone who's seen their work or seen them on can say that that is true. The Shield is the Shield. I feel there's gonna be some growing, or there's gonna be some like I thought there was gonna be some sync issues with the 3 because this is the first time they've gone out with each other. But judging by the match they had this last week, it will be okay. If I had to choose a winner, which sadly I do, I like both teams. I'm going with the New Day because the Shield, I feel that they haven't earned a pay-per-view victory. They're probably going to win, but I want the New Day to win because they are more over, more beloved, and honestly, just a better team. There hasn't been any tension in the group since they started, and yeah, they are a fantastic tag team. So I have the New Day going over the Shield. It'll be a fantastic match. Might be one of the best on the card. Let's see how that goes. So after that, basically all the belt, or I'm gonna talk about the belt matches in order. We have 4 of them to get through, so I'm gonna start off with the tag belts: Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Usos. This went from being an okay match with Seth and Dean versus the Usos to this could be a fun thing because we have technically 2 heel teams going at each other. So there will be some dirty play involved. There will be some shenanigans involved. This will be fun to watch. Now, if I were to give a winner, again, it's a hard choice. When it was Seth and Dean, it would have been a little bit easier because I do think that Seth and Dean, riding their momentum with them both being world champions, both being U.S. champions, their pedigree is a little bit better than the Usos. But Sheamus and Cesaro, like, they aren't slouches either. Like, I think, honestly, I'll keep my decision for what that was last week with Seth and Dean in it, and Sheamus and Cesaro are going to win, or the tag belts. But it will be a good match. I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos won, and I'm not going to be against it either. So, there's that first one. Now, we have the Miz versus Baron Corbin, U.S. title versus Intercontinental title, or reverse that anyway. This one's a no contest for me because I don't like Baron Corbin. I feel that he is a somewhat overrated wrestler. The Deep Six is a fantastic finisher for a mediocre guy at best. And I'm sorry if you ever watch this, Baron. It's just the way it is. The Miz is a better promo guy, a better wrestler, a better entertainer than you are at your current stage in your career. So this one's a no contest for me. Miz, you win in F4, or you're winning the belt, or the battle of the actual main belts of both brands right now, because the U.S. actually had people going after it, and the IC is probably the main belt of SmackDown or of Raw right now, and I'm not ashamed to say that because Miz brought some credibility to the belt. Now we have the two big ones. I'll start off with the women's title match. Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss. The Queen versus the Goddess. I have a feeling with all the momentum, all the legacy going on into this match because of Ric Flair's 30 for 30, Charlotte's going to win. And it's that thing of what sealed it for me was actually Charlotte's promo this last weekend, or this last Tuesday, where she goes, before there was a queen, there was a goddess. Or before there was a goddess, there was a queen. She is hands down, one of the best wrestlers in the SmackDown roster. The best female wrestlers, that is. And actually, you know what, I can say it. One of the best male wrestlers, because I still think back fondly to the Sasha Banks Charlotte feud of last year. This will be a good match. Would be it'd be kind of fun and interesting if Carmella tried to cash in, and she actually did cash in and beat both of them, and she ends up being both women's title belt holder. That'd be kind of funny. I don't think that's gonna happen. That'd be a random time to do it, and it'd be basically a betrayal team SmackDown. Though at the same time, like, her coming down instead of with a briefcase with both belts would be freaking hysterical. Because then she'd have a target on her back from both sides, and that'd be a good way for a turn. More on that later. But yeah, Charlotte, I think, is going to win. So that'll be the first win I predict for Team SmackDown in the main belts picture, or in the belts picture at least. Not the last one, though. So showing my hand a little bit, but the Universal title versus the World Heavyweight title. I don't like Brock Lesnar. I feel that him with the Universal belt has actually tarnished the Universal belt, because for weeks at a time we don't see it. He just sits at his house twiddling his thumbs until Vince actually gives or sends him a check, and then he comes out and just stands there, smiles, and then wrestles at a pay-per-view. Then we don't see the belt for another 3 weeks. AJ Styles, on the other hand, is AJ Styles. As some of you know who have watched my stuff in the past, that you know that AJ is quickly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers on the card right now. He was halfway responsible for one of my favorite matches of all time with Cena in the Rumble this year. AJ Styles, I feel, is a better champion, and it would have been easy for me to say Brock Lesnar was going to win. Now I'm not so sure, because AJ brings in that one thing that Brock doesn't have. He has the ability to change. Like, Brock has the same type of style, which is he has no style. He just comes in, says, "I'm Brock Lesnar. I'm going to hit you with 17 German suplexes and an F5 and just walk away with my check." Occasionally, if need be, he put a Kimura lock on you. AJ can be a bruiser. He can be, a cruiserweight head or a flyer. He can be whatever he needs to be he can change his style on a whim, basically. So, with that said, and the partial bias on my end, AJ Styles, I feel, deserves the victory over Brock Lesnar. And on a side note, if anyone asks in the comments, Jinder Mahal was going to lose this match. It was blatantly obvious Jinder Mahal was going to lose. But AJ is not Jinder, so the math doesn't lie. Finally, we get to our two main cards. Now I know for a fact they're probably going to stick the women's, they're probably going to put the women's elimination or Survivor Series match between two of the other matches. I'm not an idiot. That's how they did it with the Money in the Bank. So let's go over our contestants. We have Team SmackDown. We have Becky Lynch as the captain, Naomi, Tamina, Naomi, Tamina, Carmella. I don't know why I blanked out on that one. So we have Becky Lynch, Naomi, Tamina, Carmella, and we don't know who the fifth one is now, because the fifth one was Charlotte, but now that Charlotte's in the main is the champion, it could be Naomi. It could be returning Paige. That would be a good way to that would be a funny way to troll the audience who have seen her Instagram post saying that she was going to go to Raw. It could be someone we don't know. It could be a debuting NXT star. It's up in the air. We don't know who the fuck it's going to be. Now, however, we actually have to talk about the team that I'm not gonna make any qualms about it. I'm not gonna I'm not saying this to be mean to the others. The winner of the women's elimination I want to say elimination chamber. That's happening next year. The winner of the women's Survivor Series match, for the sole reason of Nia Jax. Or Alicia Fox is the team captain. And you know what? Okay. She's the weak link. But the last three are Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Asuka. And Asuka is the reason I'm saying that they're going to win, because it's Asuka. They are not going to have Asuka's first loss be in a match that she has no control over. And if they do, you know what? If they actually say it won't count against her win-loss record, which she has no loss record in the WWE, she has not lost at all since she's gotten here, which is how they should book her to the day she retires, I'm fine with that. But if this does technically, or since she is on the team, if this technically counts as her win loss record, if they make her lose a major pay per view like this, they're gonna blow everybody's or like everybody's thoughts and feelings of her way too soon. I think it should be Asuka versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, belt versus belt then, and I'm hoping to God that they put that into play. I think honestly, I think that Triple H is going to actually step in and say, you have my golden girl, my like he made no qualms about it. Asuka was his favorite women's wrestler that he ever had in NXT. So, by a factor of Asuka, Raw is going to win. Finally, we have what will be the main event. Brock Lesnar is not going to be the main event. If he is the main event, I will be very, very sad. He is not worth the main event with the card we have right now. The best way I can describe the men's Survivor Series 5-on-5 Team Raw versus Team SmackDown match is someone in the back was playing WWE 2K18. Vince walked across the stage or walked in behind them and saw their listing and was like, "That's a good idea. We're gonna do that." Because how else would you explain on the Raw side, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Triple H, I'm sorry, I think it's just Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Triple H. I keep wanting to say those three. They don't have to have the other two guys show up, which is saying something. Because the other two guys are Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. Those three names alone made me forget who those people were for a second, and Finn Balor is one of my favorite wrestlers on the card. And Samoa Joe is also the best wrestler on the card. Or on the Raw side. But yeah, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Triple H, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman for Raw. And SmackDown is John Cena, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Shane McMahon. Seriously, someone in the WWE locker room was playing 2K18. I have to imagine that's how they did this. There is no fathomable way this card should exist and be as amazing as it is. The entrances alone, if they let them do all their entrances, will be about 40 minutes. Because you're going to have, on SmackDown side, you have Shane McMahon doing his dance. He's going to come out first. He's team captain. You have Randy Orton, who's going to just strut the way he earned, the way he can just go down the ring. Then you have John Cena, that's going to be a 5-minute scream fest in itself. Then you have Shinsuke Nakamura, who still has one of the best entrances. One of the best. He's beaten by his now partner, Bobby Roode, which, if you had asked me, or after TakeOver San Antonio, if they were ever going to be on a team together, I would have said no. They had a heated rivalry in NXT. But brand loyalty is stronger than personal bias at this point. So Bobby and Shinsuke are teaming up together, and this is going to hurt anyone else. This would hurt anyone else. But we have Kurt Angle coming back after his admittedly great showing at the last pay-per-view when he teamed up with the Shield. We have Triple H, who came out of the frickin' nowhere. Basically, I think as a favor to his wife, to stick it to his brother-in-law, which they're going to say that at least once during next week or during Sunday. They're going to say, well, there it is, the brother-in-law versus, or it's brother-in-law versus brother-in-law, Triple H versus Shane McMahon. This is a weird main event. I'd like to point out, too, that we have 4 NXT World Champions and 4 Heavyweight Champions. And all 8 of... Actually, no, we don't have 4. We have 5. 6. All of these guys have won belts, except Braun Strowman. Which, Braun Strowman deserves to be Universal Champion. I'm already gushing. The match hasn't even happened yet. We have not even seen it. This is going to be an amazing show. We have 5 world champions, 4 NXT champions, one of which was a Universal Champion. And yeah, this is going to be freaking epic. This is going to be the best Survivor Series match in the last 10 years, if not since the beginning of Survivor Series itself. If I need to say who I want to win, and I've been gushing about both teams for about 5 minutes now, I'm going to take this individually, actually, because we have Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon, who are very, very good friends in real life. They're team captains, but Shane does not know how to wrestle as good as he used to, if he even knew how to wrestle back then. Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle, and he is not, even though he's not been in WWE, he has not stopped doing what he loves. I'm going to say that Kurt has the better chance. If they're the two that start off, Kurt's going to wipe the floor with Shane. Or better yet, put Triple H, before he can do the final thing, look over at Triple H and say, you want to take it? And have his brother-in-law beat him, or the brother-in-laws fight. Because that's kind of something that we kind of want to see. At least I want to see. I kind of want all the old-timers to get knocked out, one after the other, and the final 4 to be Bob, or... Actually, wait, no, it's kind of funny. I like to point out, Braun Strowman is the youngest guy in this match. I think, at least I'm fairly certain that Braun Strowman is the youngest wrestler in this match. And yet he is the one that everyone's scared of. He's going to be a heavy hitter. Samoa Joe's going to be a heavy hitter. Finn Balor, which I hope Finn and Shinsuke get in the ring one more time together. I hope that's the matchup for them, or for him, or Finn or Joe and Shinsuke. Actually, you know what? This is what I want. I want basically the 2 captains to go against each other. Triple H and John Cena go against each other, or Triple H. Actually, no, not Triple H and John Cena. Triple H and Randy Orton. Be a good little mini reunion of Evolution. Braun Strowman versus John Cena. He's the only one I think that can actually take or go toe to toe with Strowman. Bobby Roode versus Samoa Joe, because tell me you would not want to see that as an actual match. And then Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I have been basically stalling, if you haven't been able to tell. I don't know who's going to win this. And if I had to choose, if you put a gun to my head and told me to choose someone I think the team I think needs to win this, the team I think deserves the win, I think it has to go to Raw. Kurt Angle needs, in storyline, Kurt Angle needs this. And it'd be kind of interesting if, for SmackDown's side, SmackDown had a near perfect team, but that could actually lead to the tension that seems to be stemming from Shane and Daniel, where Daniel could say, well, you had a near perfect team. You were one member away from being a perfect team, but you got greedy, and you decided you needed to go out again. So you know who, because you know who should have been out there instead of you, Shane McMahon? Me. Well, not me, but Daniel Bryan. Or, you know what? They could have put... They could have put Daniel Bryan. They could have forced Kevin Owens. They could have forced Sami Zayn. Even though neither of them right now are in storyline like Shane McMahon. They could have brought back an old timer. Hell, The Undertaker lives right down the road from Houston. They could have somehow tried to get him in there if he'd be up to it. They could have put anyone else but Shane. And I think that's going to be actually the undoing, is the McMahon family pride is going to lose. And I think Shane McMahon is going to bit off more than he could chew. I'm trying to think of another, active fifth member they could have put. They could have put Dolph Ziggler. He would have been the weak link, but you know what? It would have been a superstar, an active superstar right now. They could have put Sin Cara. That would have been a wild card. That would have been something that no one would have suspected. Before they did the New Day versus Shield angle, they could have put Big E. They could have put Kofi. They could have put Xavier Woods. They could have put or had Baron Corbin lose the belt to Kalisto or to Sin Cara, and put Baron Corbin. That would have been interesting. It could have it would have been that. Okay, we know John Cena is going to be on the team. How well can Baron work with John after the utter beatdown he was given at SummerSlam? Shane McMahon is the weak link in this amazing match. So I think that's going to be SmackDown's undoing. I'm giving it to Raw. If I have to, I don't want to give it to Raw. Like I said, ironically enough, save for Shane McMahon, I love all of these guys in the ring. I like Randy. I like John. I like John. I like Finn, Joe, Triple H, of course. Kurt Angle, of course. I like everybody. I like Bobby. I like Shinsuke. Everybody except the boss. You don't see... you shouldn't see a commissioner do the dirty work for a GM. Now, granted, the only other one we have to compare to is Stephanie, but even then, we haven't seen Stephanie wrestle in about 4 years, or no, about 3 years. Since she wrestled against, was it Natalia or not Natalia? Was it Brie or Nikki Bella? One of the Bellas. I think it was Nikki. Because, or, no, it was Brie, because Brie, that's right, it was Brie. I remember that storyline now. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah. You don't see Stephanie get her hands dirty. She leaves that for her husband. But at least her husband is 16 or 15-time world champion Triple H. Though, imagine if Shane McMahon came out, like, honestly, like, if they had kept Jinder as the title belt holder, if they had kept Jinder Mahal as the world champion, and they didn't put AJ Styles on the card or on the match, that would have been a, like, they could have done. That's another thing they said they easily could have done. Yeah, like I going through scenarios in my head. I'm sorry. This video has turned out a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but anyway, it's been Limbo 13. I will be back on Sunday. Like, I might be in a different, or I might be in my old location, or I might be in a different location, just doing. Actually, I'm like either Sunday or Monday. I might, or depending on what's going on, I'll bring my results. I will watch this pay-per-view. I will say this. If there is a chance to do it, I will be, if I can hop on a live stream, like a Twitch stream of reactions, I'll actually send that on Twitter that I'll be on one or the other. So, it's been Limbo 13. I'll see you later.